Warning: resin is a toxic material and extremely harmful for the respiratory system when airborne during sanding, grinding, or drilling. The dust, when breathed in, can cause short and long-term health problems, including cancer. Please use a particle or dual organic respirator. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Walkure Romanze YouTube with another modelling video. Today we have a sponsored video by E2046, who were pretty nice to donate this medieval armoured figure to create a tutorial in hopes to guide people that are too scared or not familiar with the hobby to have an attempt, buy a resin kit and have a taste of the hobby. As I'm also an active customer with this service, the kit came at a timely manner, very well packaged in a box, plastic packers, as well as a further box and bubble wrap and individual sealed parts. Generally very thin and fragile pieces like hair follicle and fine detail do not snap or break at all. Each kit, from my experience, gets a quality card of some sort, a reference photo as a painting guide. Other views of the miniature can also be seen online by the profile, as well as assembly instructions from the original manufacturer photocopied. Now, at first the project was a bit daunting, a high parts count, but as I explained to them, a higher parts count means it's just going to take a lot longer to build. If the kit has fairly good fitting, as advertised, that does not really impact much. Some modifications will go a long way, so everything was laid out and looked at compared to the instructions to see what nubs and pore holes from the mould needs to be removed. Now, because a moulding process is involved in a silicon mould, it is best to assume a release agent was applied, which is a greasy, oily-like substance that will sit on the model. This needs to be removed via washing. I did 2 rounds of soaking it in detergent water and scrubbing it with a brush, then drying it out and rinsing it in water. The parts were very straight and well cast. One part was warped. This was easily fixed by putting it in post-boiling water from a kettle and straightening it out by hand. It became very soft and it was very easy to mould. I find E2046 resin to be quite white but very, very soft. Easy to cut, sand and machine, so it's not too brittle or likely to snap with a touch of flex. Quite ideal for the beginner. Now, as this is a newer model, I was very happy with the fitting and the detail, quite deep, quite nice. As I removed the nubs, which was a process of using very strong non-plastic modelling nippers and a knife to carve it down to a slight nub, then sanding it down with a progression of sandpapers starting at 200 grit all the way down to 2000 grit, mostly focusing around 3 and 500. This is done wet to prevent making resin particles go in the air and cause respiratory issues. I also had issue with the chest plate and being a cast off going into some sort of lewd look. Not so much offended by lewd, but would like to go for more of a raw, respectable combatant figure opposed to something that's sexy. So this was modified with a few cuts and putty work. The putty used is a polyester based and is bought from an automotive shop known as Blade or Bog Putty, single part, unlike a dual part polyester. Applies very, very well, can skin and thicken and dries quite quick. Is resin based, also applies in application and sanding as if you were to cast resin or sand resin. When assembling finer bits that don't need masking or colour separation, I just use standard $2 shop super glue. Now, for preparation of assembly and painting, I use a pin vise drill set. I find the wave one to be a very high quality. Large holes are drilled in areas that's going to be assembled or not seen after painting. This is where I could put barbecue skewers up and hold without holding with hands and spraying it with great ease, regardless of the weight of the piece. Smaller holes are drilled, and as long as possible brass rods, about 1.5mm, is inserted. The longer the brass rod in both ends, the more likely it's going to hold the weight of the model together. The idea is to use as little glue as possible so the model can be dismantled and reassembled at competitions or in displays. Having 2 to 3 pins per piece works quite well. You just have to be very careful with aligning. If you misalign it and it's crooked, you can always fill the hole with putty, re-drill and try again. Be patient. Do not be afraid to modify parts like cutting wrists and rotating it to change hand gestures, as well as sculpting small items to fit on parts of the body, the hand, or especially accessories for the base. Small little builds like this can lead to bigger things in the future. Instead of holding the chest plate as it's falling off to expose herself, I've changed so her wrist is out holding a coin bag as if she's just gotten paid. Leading on to painting, I primed everything in Mr. Hobby primer, which is ideal to look for any faults that may need to be puttied and sand. When that's ideal, you can spray with white or whatever top coat or undercoat you want. I use Guy Note Flesh for the flesh, and I shade the flesh with the Mr. Beautiful Girl colour. Other parts have been masked using the Tamiya round surface and SMS masking tape, as well as shaded and airbrushed with a Mr. Colour and SMS lacquer paints. More details about the painting of this kit will be seen in Honing My Airbrush Skills 19, linked below when the video is done. Instead of going for flat looks, I tried to shade variants of shades and colours to add definition and depth. The base had texture paint applied to it and airbrushed, as well as flock added for a little more of a realism look. This particular kit is not painted like your typical GK kit, going for more of a gritty realism, medieval warfare, opposed to something that just pops out of an anime or that's quite colourful and monotoned in tones and shades. So take this with a piece of string, unless you really like this look and would wish to replicate it. It is important to allow the model to fully cure and dry before assembling, especially with multiple layers of top coat. As we're coming to an end, we're using pastels or washes and top coating, application of decals or hand painting. It's very easy to just want to rush, finish and assemble as quick as possible. A lot of time, or as much time, should be applied as possible for the pinning and fitting. If you can make it stand on its own before painting, it'll do the same after painting. Also, a lot of those joints you should mask with either liquid mask or blue tack, so it doesn't thicken and cause fitting issues. If it can fit by itself without paint, you won't have any problems after painting, with or without glue. These mistakes can be made with your first few models, and I've also equally have made those mistakes. So just focus heavily on pinning and fitting as the most important element of building resin kits over painting and other aspects for the ideal finish. Again, a big thank you to E2046 for giving me the opportunity to make an official video on their behalf and being lent this product to do something artistically and of my own free will. Mind you, this is my third ever figure garage kit, and this is just with a little outside hobby experience, following basic set of instructions, and having to go and experimenting is not too hard. Having a look at the website, the search function's pretty easy. Look for an available in-stock item, and they give you a parts breakdown and a picture of the instructions where the colour separation is and where you assemble. Judging a model by how little masking you need to do and no putty work, so where there's natural joins, should be a very good kit to attempt. And I definitely recommend it and share around. More people should be in this aspect of the hobby. Now, if you notice the source material, it's meant to be a black lacquered samurai armor. I feel it's very European looking, and being a big fan of LARP and medieval aspect of combat, I painted and patinaed and rusted this to look like a lot of the kit I own and fight in. and did it in the colour scheme of the warband that I play with in my other hobby. Funnily enough, the skirt is the exact same kilt as I have, as well as the leggings with my undercoat. I'm very, very happy with this finish. It does have personal meaning with the look and colour scheme. The source material is pretty good. I did enjoy the show, but thought it would be far more fun to go my own direction and almost create my own character. And I found the experience to be quite rewarding with this very unique finished piece. I hope you all found this video informative or very helpful if you wish to enter or learn more about resin modelling. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, be sure to check out the links down below. Do a lot on Facebook. We've been Twitch streaming of late, as well as a tip jar in Patreon. If you have any questions, I'm always more than happy to answer them, and stay tuned for more weekly or twice a week content on this channel. I do take requests, and more than happy to interact in the chat. Catch you guys later, and have a good one. Happy modelling.